But if you read the message to the black man and the writings of Honorable Elijah Muhammad, that's not what he said. He called him the Mahdi and the Messiah. And there are Muslims all over the world, in different parts of the world, that have declared men the Mahdi and have declared men the Messiah. The Saudi Arabians, on the other hand, the Wahhabi sect that are now buying out everybody, haven't had their Messiah yet, or their Mahdi, so as far as they're concerned, they are the only ones that are right and they're mainstream. And anybody who does not go along with their interpretations of Islam has to be kufr or Satan or some other name that the Sunnis belt out against other black leaders, almost always black leaders, because when Ahmed Deedat from South Africa, an Indian brother, did a whole thing, a whole book and live video on the number 19 that he extracted from Rashad Khalifa, an Egyptian brother, all the Sunnis was with him. Then a couple of Saudi Arabians came up and said the number 19 is not authentic, but they didn't never debate against it, they just said it. Never has an Arab who speaks Arabic debated against the number 19. Bilal Phillips did it, some Canadian Negro. Pakistanians are doing it. No Egyptian has ever went up against him whose native tongue is Arabic. No Sudanese has ever went up against it whose native tongue is Arabic. No Saudian has ever went up whose native tongue is Arabic. It's always converts to Islam who are versing the number 19. But this man, Ahmed Deedat, who the Sunnis are now exulting because of his videotapes of arguing with Jimmy Swaggart, etc., he supported the number 19, and now he retracts that as if it never happened. He is a part of mainstream Islam. You see what I'm saying? They select what mainstream means, and they select what's right and what's wrong. The point I'm trying to make by this verse is the Honorable Elijah Muhammad did believe in an unseen deity. But when he spoke about Master Prophet Muhammad, he was giving him a Christ-like image, and like a Christian would, the Christ-like image is God incarnate. Muslims pretend they disagree with this until you enter into the covers of the Quran and investigate the life of Jesus compared to any other prophet. Is any other prophet in the Quran called El-Masih, the Messiah? Yes or no?
Yes.
Who?
You should,
Israel?
Indeed.
And then they say that the Jews call Israel a Messiah, not Allah. Nowhere in the Torah or El-Injil or Zabur will you ever find the prophet Israel being called a Messiah by the Jews. Nowhere. It's not there. You follow that?
I follow.
Next, Allah called Jesus Al-Messiah in the Quran, the Messiah, son of Mary. Now, being the word Al-Messiah, according to orthodox Sunni Muslims, existed in the Torah before the Quran. And because they're not smart enough to know that Arabic and Syriac is the same language, they think the Torah was Hebrew and the Quran is Arabic. We have to go back to the Torah language that they believe in, which is Hebrew, for the definition of Messiah, which is in Hebrew Al-Mashiach, an anointed being, a supernatural being. You follow that? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does know the definition. Now, Allah refers to Jesus in the Quran as Ruhu. He gave him a Ruh. He says, Ruhi. I strengthened him with Ruhi, my soul. Jesus' special name in Al-Islam is Ruhullah, Allah's soul. Muhammad is never called that. It says, and in Islam they support their hadith, that Rasulullah died. He died at a certain age, and they have his remains in the city of Medina, in a tomb that Sunni Muslims go to and make a dua to Muhammad during Hajj, which that cannot be found in the Quran, by the way. They innovated that into it, but they do it anyway. So, Muhammad's remains is on earth. The Quran tells us that Allah took Rafa'ah, took Jesus what? Rafa'ahu ilayhi, up to himself. The Quran further says, don't say people who die in my path are dead, they live on. So according to that Quran, Jesus, son of Mary, is still alive with Allah in heaven. It doesn't say that about Muhammad. You see what I'm saying?
I follow.
So their idea of mainstream Islam is innovations of hadith and traditions of men, fabricated stories that can't be substantiated by the text of the Quran, but can be backed up further by other hadith. For instance, they say, well, any Muslim knows that the Prophet Muhammad said the two things that Allah left was the Quran and his Sunnah. Yeah, they throw it at you. But you don't never stop and say, wait a minute, is that in the Quran like that? No, that in itself is a hadith. So they're actually using a hadith to support a hadith. And they turn at you, an Ansar, and say, the writings of Muhammad says that he left two things, the Quran and the Sunnah. I don't deny that he might have said that, but that is a hadith supporting a hadith. When are they going to realize the words of Allah are more important than the words of men? So, as far as Honorable Elijah Muhammad believing in Master Fra Muhammad as being a spirit God, or being likened to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the creator of the boundless universe, nowhere in his doctrine does he say that. Who is the original man? Asiatic black man, maker, owner, cream of the planet Earth, father of civilization, and God of the universe. All of those things are physical things. And that we are, because Allah said in the Quran that he created me and you as Khalifa fil Arda, as his successor on the earth, the caretaker of the earth. So we are the maker, the owner. We are not the creator. Allah is al-Khaliqu. But we do make things from things he created. We do own the planet because he gave it to us. We are the cream of the planet because we're the original black people. We are the father of civilization because we had civilizations in ancient Nubia while the white man was up in the mountains eating flesh raw and crawling on all fours. And his half-breed Arab brothers was with him in their blood.
So then we are gods.
We are God. Didn't it say in the books of Psalms, didn't he say, did I not say you are God? You just not Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're not Allah, but you're a God compared to every other being on earth. Compared to every other race of people on earth. You are a God, but you're not Allah. You see, that's where people make their mistake. There's a difference between God and Allah. Allah cannot be turned into a female. Gods can have goddesses.
Indeed.
Allah wahdahu la sharika lahu has no partners. So when they say la ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, they've just binded partners with Allah. Whenever you say Allah, he's alone. Wahdahu la sharika lahu. Then if you want to say, where and Muhammad is his apostle, you can. But you don't do it. Otherwise, you're shirk. You're guilty of binding partners. Think about it before you respond.